We are back in the place where it all began, the home gym, the garage gym. It's good to be back here. Just been filming a bit of content, and hopefully just get a wee session in, a wee arm session, probably nothing crazy. Did train yesterday. I usually do train legs, but you know, my leg's been playing up, so I thought, no, smash something fun, a little bit of an arm session. But no, it's good to be back. Good to be back in here. You know, used to come in here all the time when I was younger. This is the place where it kind of always, you know, began for me. You know, it's the place that kind of got me out of the, you know, the partying, the drinking, the drugs. Come in here, shut the door, and it was just me, you know, me alone. I could train and just be left alone. And that's when I really started to, you know, discover and push myself and see what I was really capable of. And it's crazy, because it all just started in a little garage, you know what I mean? And here we are now. So, you know, it's always good to come back here. Always try and visit here at least once when I come back home. And it's just crazy being away for a few months and then coming back. Like, it's always got good lighting as well. So I always get a little pose down in the mirror after I train. But it's good though, because you can see, you know, how the progress is and how you're looking and stuff like that. Areas I need to improve on, and you know, but it's good to just see your progress, and especially in the lighting, it just makes you look, you know, a million times better. So no, we'll hit a little arm session today. I think what we're going to do is, you know, we don't have much in here, but little easy bars, easy bar bicep curls, dumbbell bicep curls, hit some skull crushers, some push downs, you know, nothing crazy, 2-3 exercises for the arms, and yeah, just get a bit of a pump, train hard and enjoy it. But you know, always good to come back up to Scotland. I'm enjoying it up here, especially this time, because we just got the new flat up in Leith, so it's been amazing being up there. It's just got everything you need. I absolutely love it. The quality of life for me and the guys up here now, just so much better, and I love it so much. And it's just almost depressing to go back down south and work, but we're almost at the end now. I've got a couple of years left, so I say at the end, but the end is in sight. And you know, the business is growing, the social media is growing, and I'm getting to a point now where everything's, you know, falling into place, and I can see exactly where I'm going and how I want to build what I want to build. So it is good in that sense. It's good that I still have the security and, you know, the safety net of being in the military and getting, you know, a salary whilst I can build this. So the next 2 years is just going to be a lot of focusing on that, and yeah, so that's where we're at. Let's hit some arms. Space in here, but it works well. I love it. There's been a lot of crazy sessions in here for the size that it is. When I used to train with my dad in the gym, we got some crazy shit in here, like banding, reverse banding squats and that, so you could go heavier and just bounce out the hole, you know, some crazy stuff. But anyway, we'll warm up here. Now, a tip for this, the easy bar curls, to make them not so easy, we want to kind of supinate our bicep. So if you look here, hand normally, and if I just supinate that, turn it in a little bit, you'll notice I get a lot more bicep engagement there. So if we kind of supinate it, whereas a dumbbell you can kind of curl it in, if we use the other part of the easy bar, so our hand is just naturally sitting rather supinated, and then when we can tract at the top, instead of just going to here, pull it all the way up, yeah, so pull it all the way up to your face to get a full contraction at the top. That's the best way I've found to do these, you know, bicep curls. You're getting the most out of it. You stretch it at the bottom, you pull it all the way up to your face and get that nice hard contraction at the top. Pump some blood in there before we hit the top set. Nice. Right, top set ready to go. No idea how many reps we're going for here. I've not done these in a while, especially in here. You know, stacking the weights on like we used to, but we'll see how much we get Go to failure as always, yeah. Take your arm training to failure. Don't just use it for the big compounds and that. For the way your arms grow, you need to take it all the way there. So just because they're a smaller muscle group doesn't mean you can't take it there. You can't take it all the way. And I know it's harder because they are smaller. The lactate builds up and you get a bit more of a burn. But you just need to fight through that, right? If you want big arms, you've got to train them hard. It's bad when you're out of breath after the first set. I'm so unfit. That's not good. That's being on holiday, that's what that is. But it's good. Ah, blood's flowing. We're pumped already. So I think the way we'll do it is we'll go bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. And a little superset finisher. But I like to start getting that overall blood flow in the whole arm. Number 2, I don't generally rest that much between arm exercises. The amount of fatigue that you build up isn't that, detrimental. You can go quite soon after you've had a hard set once you trained arms. When it gets to your compounds and stuff like that, you need to give yourself time. You need to prime your mind and your body to give yourself enough time to get another high quality set. When it comes to arms, you can pretty much smash them, you know what I mean? If you're going heavy, give yourself a little bit more time. But if you're going relatively light and higher volume, you can just go ham, I think. That's what's worked for me anyway. I just like to smash them. Usually train them at the end of a session anyway, so you're never really, hanging around and you've not got that much time to spend in your arms anyway. So if you have a dedicated arm day, you need to smash it out quickly.
I can't
Yeah, those are brutal, but I think anything's brutal if you take it close enough to failure. Like the weight you can control as well, because I think that's a big thing a lot with arm training. Yeah, I think a lot of people go heavy. I think they think that heavier they train, the bigger they're going to get. But arms, tricep, biceps are very small muscle groups, so being able to actually contract them and stretch them properly does not require a lot of load. Pick a lighter load, do it for a high amount of reps, and actually get a proper mind-muscle connection. You'll benefit so much more from that in your arm training if you really want to grow them. Once you master the form, you can really nail it down, then you can up the weight and increase it and progress that over, you know, a period of time. But when it comes to arms, honestly, don't rush it. Control it. You'll notice everything I do is controlled. I'm not using momentum to move the weight. I'm not chucking it up. I'm using weight I can control, heavy weight, control it on the way up. It might look a little faster and, you know, like slow control, but I've really learned how to connect with the muscles now. And I think that's important too, because a lot of these people that younger people watch, whether it be influencers and, you know, professional bodybuilders, they watch how they train and then they copy it. But these people have been training for years and years, you know, so watching someone who's, you know, a professional, been doing it for years, does it as their job, has a massive amount of muscle that they're able to contract and get a mind-muscle connection with. So they train a little bit quicker and they chuck weight around, but it's easy for them to connect with the muscle and progress it in a way that's beneficial for hypertrophy. If you just start the gym and you just train like that, you're probably going to get little to nothing out of it. So control the weight.
This is my battle cry, the anthem on my knees. Through the chaos I find my way, I'm freaking out in the disarray. One of the surface of fire roars, I got in the strength of fear.
That's the session. Just 2 sets of everything. I usually only do 2 sets. Sometimes I'll do 3, depending on, you know, the exercise that I choose and how hard I've hit each exercise. For that was pretty intense for me. I took it there. I'm pretty pressed for time, so that's where we're going to end it. So let's see how we're looking. I'm quite curious to see how the pump is. set, getting that long head a little bit thicker so it sticks out a little bit more. Still holding on a little bit of the abs over the holidays, but good session. Intense as always, as we like it. I need to get working more of the forearm though, is what I would say. Genetically I've always been pretty bad there, but that's another thing to work on. You know, genetics is a thing that should hold you back, you know, and I should know, like, coming from where I came from and how skinny and underdeveloped I was, genetics is one thing that I thought would always hold me back. So being that skinny and thinking that I wasn't able to build muscle or be strong did hold me back for quite a while. And that's one thing I think is quite a factor when it comes to progressing, and when it comes to, you know, what you think you're actually capable of. I think it holds people back quite a lot because they think they can't do it, they think it's impossible. I know I certainly did. That's why, you know, I just didn't do it for so long, and I put it off because I was just like, nah, it's not for me, I'm not doing it. I'm very strong-minded, and I was very strong-minded towards that in training because of that reason. But similarly on the other end of the scale, I think people that are a little bit overweight and have tried to lose weight think the same way or have the same sort of approach, that maybe they can't lose weight, so, you know, they just don't try it or they give up. And, you know, it's a bit of a problem. It's a bit of a thing we should work on and try and make people aware of, that genetics shouldn't hold you back. And I think personally, the worse off you are, so like me, super, super skinny, no potential really to have a nice physique or look great, you know, just in the first impression. And people that are extremely overweight, as opposed to people that are, you know, already in all right shape, or just need to lose a little bit of fat or put in a little bit of muscle, quite athletic already, the transformation that, you know, that other people we have to go through, I think the harder it is and the bigger it is, the better the return is in the long run, because mentally it's a lot better for you. And, you know, the change in the long run, I think, if it's harder and you have to go through it for a longer period of time and you have to push yourself through that for a long period of time, the return's so much better and you get so much more out of it. And your life in the long run afterwards is just so much better because you've been through that journey, and, you know, you've chased progression and self-improvement for so long that you don't want to give it up, and you start chasing new things, you know what I mean? You start chasing progression in other ways. Once you've started with your body and your mind, you pursue things, better things that are good, you know, career, job, relationships, and it all just cascades from there. I think, anyway, as opposed to someone that, you know, oh, I just need to lose a bit of fat and I'm in shape. That's not really too difficult, you know. And, you know, they still make good progress and they still can pursue great things, obviously, but I think it all starts with the body and the mind. And if you can master that, no matter where you are, you can overcome any adversity or genetic disadvantage. So that was arms in the old Mecca. Been a while since I've been here, but it was good to film and get something done for you. So let me know if there was value in that. Let me know if there's anything more you'd like to do or like to hear from or learn about. If, you know, you want more training advice, or if the, you know, the mindset stuff and the stuff that we talked about, just the life shit was good, better. Let me know so I can do more of it. Let me know what you want to see, because I enjoy making these. When I find the time to do it, I can do it. And you know, when my work quietens down and I'm able to do more of this and do it full time, then I want to know what to make that the viewer, yourself, is going to enjoy watching. So, you know, got a long road ahead, many more of these to make, so still figuring it out. So if you enjoyed it, let me know.